Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. I make my own peace. I am my own man. I am my own boss. I make my own plans. I see the eyes of my children through the sun. That's when I know that the day just begun. Another plum day overlooking your beauty, where I can be a teenager as long as I wanna be.
Good morning and welcome to a special edition of Plum Daily. I'm so excited to be joined by Barry Sternlick.
Hi, Kate.
Here we are back at the Dreamland.
It's fantastic.
It's amazing. I mean, we were saying we're leaning over. It looks a little messy right now because it's a construction site, but there is no better view than from right up here.
Where we're sitting is on the second floor of the Dreamland, overlooking the harbor. And this is going to be the best space in the whole island to have an event at. It's fantastic.
It's unbelievable. You know, the last time we were here doing the show, it was the old building.
Yep.
And it's really interesting because walking through, I got a chance to walk through, but it feels like the old building, except it's not. Do you know? But you know, I mean,
well, it's
you have the
shaped
sense,
more or less like the old building,
which
right?
I have to say, I'm a traditionalist. I love that it fit right back in.
Right.
So you walk by and it's almost as if it never went away.
Well, it's not by accident. I mean, we really worked hard on preserving the scale of the project, and we actually shortened it from the original drawings that we talked about a couple years ago. It still backs a little bit into the back lot, but we'll talk about in the show some of the programming that we've added to the space and how amazing the building is going to be on the inside. We're so excited to be able to deliver it. We hope soon, very soon, this year.
This year.
We hope.
Well, you know, it certainly feels like once it got moving, that you drive by every day. I mean, I love that the Dreamland sign is like the poster is out there. It's tagged as the Dreamland. But it felt like it went very quickly in where it is right now. And I know it's got a ways to go, but it did feel like it happened fast, which we're grateful for, not to have that hole anymore.
We debated a lot when we were going to start the construction, and because we haven't finished all the fundraising, but we decided that it was so urgent to get this project completed for the community. It would be so important to the island and such a great addition to the downtown and to the vibrancy and variety of life on the island. We couldn't wait any longer, so we began the construction, and we're, you know, it's all framed out. You can see the building, and it's everyone can see the building on island.
And you
right?
walk in, you can feel the feeling of being in a theater with what is that kind of seating called?
Stadium seating.
Stadium seating. It feels
Not
like
a bad seat in the house.
It's awesome. It is awesome. Well, we're going to have a great show. We're going to meet some of the other members of the board. We've got Wendy Schmidt and Bill Little here, and Angela Rayner and the team from the Dreamland. So we're going to learn more and more what's it about and what it really needs in order to get complete too. I think that's an important part.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll talk all about it.
We will talk all about it. So stay tuned because we're going to be back with more here on Plum Daily Special Edition celebrating the Dreamland.
My husband and I both grew up going to the Dreamland every night.
There may have been a first kiss at the Dreamland.
We need a place where we can all feel good as a parent sending our children, not only in the summer community, but in the year-round community. So I don't feel like it's a choice. I feel like we need everyone to give what they can give within their means.
The Dreamland will really give back as much to the community as the community gives to it.
My name is Wendy Roulard, and I'm giving to support the Dreamland.
It was forged from the fires of imagination, sculpted by an unyielding passion for design, and tempered by 125 years of legendary performance. Introducing the all-new 2012 CLS from Mercedes-Benz, where the world's greatest automobiles take shape. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
located in historic downtown Nantucket right on India Street. The Nantucket Gourmet is famous for our sandwiches and our takeout deli. The Nantucket Gourmet is also the only place on the island you'll find all-clad cookware, Staub products, Wusthof, Henkel, and Schun knives. We have a knife sharpening service, so you can bring in your dull, rusty blade and we'll make it brand new again. Our products can be ordered on our website, www.nantucketgourmet.com.
Welcome back to a special edition of Plum Daily, where our team has just gotten bigger. Wendy Schmidt joined us, as well as Bill Little, to talk about the Dreamland. So here we are, but it has been a while to get here, and the building is gone through some big changes, although, as I said to Barry before, it's remained a familiar sight to all of the people that have lived here and watched it. Wendy, why is so important for you, the Dreamland, and why it looks exactly like it does? Because I know you've spent a lot of time working on this project.
Well, I got involved because I wanted to take an old building in the town, a very important anchor institution, and make it for the next century. Make it a green, sustainable building, and that means in terms of materials that we've used, it's a geothermal, heated and cooled building. We've reused a lot of the members of the old building when we put it back together. Some fantastic trusses in the upstairs studio theater that people will be able to see, where the building was put together and taken apart 3 different times, and we've got it here today.
You couldn't see them before, actually. They were hidden from the viewers below. So now you can see them in the new hall.
So we've got the best of the old, and we think the best of the new. And in terms of technology, also, I mean, Bill can talk to that better than I can. We're really looking forward about what will movie theaters be for people in the next decades.
Well, I have to tell you, Bill, when we were walking in, Melissa said, "Oh, and there's like the editing suite," and I was like telling my crew, like, don't look in there, you know, because we have like a little closet at
You have your car, don't you?
Right.
Is it your car?
It's like, I don't want, like, you know, the crew getting a little envious.
Right.
But it does seem very high-tech and sophisticated, even though nothing is in there yet.
It is. It is. We have three spaces in the building where we're going to see the technology come to life. The main theater, which is the theater we all remember, is going to have 35 millimeter projection as well as digital, so we'll be able to play the blockbuster hits that we all love to see, as well as have independent films that perhaps will come out here on special occasions, so we'll be able to satisfy whoever owns those films to run them. So we'll also have the ability to have fantastic sound quality. In addition to that, we have a second floor studio theater, what we refer to as a rollover screen, and we're developing right now the sound quality as well as the projection ability in there. So again, we're going to have a second floor space where I believe we have about 140 seats. That will be, it'll be a flexible space, but when we want to have a rollover space, we'll be able to use that. We will also have this fantastic harbor view room, which we're not sure exactly what it's going to be able to do right now. We have so many possibilities: conference capability, collective experience in here. So in other words, if folks are watching a movie down in the main theater, they could perhaps have a smaller group up here having dinner, watching that same movie, perhaps as a revenue source for the theater. Folks like Barry are very, very particular about making sure that this is a sustainable business model.
Right.
I mean, I know he strikes you as a pussycat, but he's actually...
We should have said that at the opening. I mean, everyone has to remember we've been at this for three years now, I think, or 3 even more. But this is a not-for-profit, and we're building this at the moment with almost no debt, and we'd like to keep it that way. We'd like it to be sustaining. We need the whole community to support it, and that means bring events here, bring venues here. We'll rent them space, bring their dances, their art festivals, their art shows, the community vendors. This is a house for the whole community.
And it will be open all the time. That's the other thing I want to mention.
12 months of a year.
It'll be open all year. The bathrooms that we have are public bathrooms in here. So the building will be open. You can come up here on this beautiful terrace anytime.
We're going to sell the best popcorn.
That's important. I was thinking, Bill, when you were speaking, though, I don't think, I mean, Nantucket has never had, and you know, it's kind of the charm, but it can get crazy, great sound.
Right.
Great. I mean, how many movies have we sat through where the reel breaks halfway through and you get your money back?
And
happens a lot.
Yeah.
I think that you've had some generous donors, and we've gotten so far. But exactly what is it that we need right now in order to complete? What's the number?
We're short probably around $4 or $5 million.
Okay.
And we've taken a lot of, the board is just great. We've had a lot of people to the board, and we're some of the originals, but the board has grown. We have people from all disciplines now on the board. We've discussed like how to handle donations, and we have been selling the seats. People can buy a seat and put their name on it for $5,000, and we've sold.
Oh, let's see. 2/3 of our seats are
gone.
So there's still some seats left, they're going fast, actually.
Right.
And then we need people that want to come in and tour the building to come in and see it. And the different rooms will have different donor recognition opportunities.
So naming opportunities.
Right. And we'd rather not name the building or a room, but name them for all the people that have supported us in putting this together. So there'll be a founder's room, and then other significant dreamers and other believers, and just people who have been so critical. And behind you have a board actually with all the people that have donated so far. But it is a big community effort, but we are short $4 or $5 million, and we think this is such an incredible cultural institution for the island forever that we'd be ashamed to put debt on it. And we will lose money in the winter, by the way, when we operate year-round, but we'd like to make it up in the summer, so we need people to support it all the time.
It's a very important model, Barry, because we will support ourselves. We will not be one of these nonprofits that's around raising a lot of money every year.
Right.
We want to be the partner for other nonprofits on the island to help them raise money, to help them program with us and use our wonderful facilities to help them and their constituents. So
it's wonderful. When we come back, I also want to get back a little bit to the green part of it, because I think it's really interesting that in an historic place like Nantucket, knowing that building with green in mind is possible even in a place like Nantucket. So stay tuned, because we're going to be back with more here in a special edition of Plum Daily with the Dreamland.
Well, I don't consider it a retirement home. I call this our simplified life.
It gives you an independence that you don't have if you lived and had to worry about taking care of your house and all the maintenances.
The staff is wonderful. Anything goes wrong, they're there to fix it. It's comfortable here, and I feel secure.
I can, go and get a cup of coffee in the cafe in the morning. I can play bingo on Mondays, but if I don't feel like doing anything, I don't have to do anything. I came in and it just seemed like the right place.
I didn't ever want to leave Nantucket. And as we grew older, I realized we couldn't keep up the house. And this is the perfect answer, because I don't have to leave Nantucket. And the house is kept up for me. It's the answer for us.
When I decided to create the company, I actually wanted to make a traditional style shirt. So instead of going to other places to make the shirt cheaper, I went to the original factories. All of our products are handmade in England. The fabrics used are Italian and Swiss fabrics. The collars and cuffs are attached by hand. The boxers are all handmade, and we use shirting fabric to make those, so they're a very soft feel.
Maury Peoples Sotheby's International Realty has been the largest, most successful real estate agency on Nantucket for over 35 years. Located at 37 Main Street, our office is open 7 days a week year-round and staffed with 17 agents who are knowledgeable and ready to serve you on a moment's notice. We have a thorough understanding of the Nantucket real estate market and can assist you in purchasing a new home or pricing and marketing your current property. We are ready to put our resources, expertise, island knowledge, and global connections to work for you.
I was really sad when the Dreamland closed down, because I've been going there watching movies my whole life here. I'm so happy that the Dreamland is coming back, because it's going to be a year-round place where we can go and hear the great storytellers tell the great stories.
I said, Dad, would you back me in a fashion company? He said, no, what do you know about making clothes?
It was a very rough period of time, but I'm really glad I went through it.
Is there a roadmap for leadership?
Constant daily judgments and reassessments.
He said I'd be qualified to drive the mail around.
Today, the vendor relationships are probably better than they ever were.
My mom loves it. She was one of the first people on Twitter.
I looked up and, my God, how am I in the same room with two members of the Rolling Stones?
You have to listen to your coaches and you have to listen to your teammates. They're going to affect the outcome of the game.
Welcome back to a special edition of Plum Daily, where we're celebrating the Dreamland and the success so far that's happened, but also discussing what we need to do to complete it. Wendy, I just wanted to touch a little bit, you had mentioned the green part of this, and that was really intentional to do this in a way, which a lot of people say, well, when you're dealing with historic buildings, it can't be done, and yet you prove that it could be.
Yes, well, we've done it at Mitchell's Book Corner. We know that you can do it in an 1840s building. In this case, we really were starting from scratch and bringing together all the pieces of the old building. So why would you build a building today and not take advantage of all of these new technologies and materials that can lower your energy costs in the future? And that, in our case, that's a wonderful asset for the building. We're capturing rainwater in the roof, using it for our gray water system in the building. We have waterless urinals in the bathrooms. We're trying to just take everything we can do and move it forward and try to think very consciously about the materials and our use of them in the building.
Right, and be an example. We were talking a little bit off camera. It's kind of fun to have this group because we're like, and then the camera goes on. I was like, what are we going to talk about while we have the camera on? But we talked about how there's a need, Barry, for raising more funds, but also the success of how much has been raised. And an economic climate that it has not been.
People at Island have been watching this. I mean, we started out with buying the building and then the really four original founders coming together and saying, we got to preserve this, we got to buy and make it a not-for-profit. And then we reached out to a whole bunch of people, and some people just reached out to us. We got a core base of money, which is probably like $14 million. And now we've added another $11 million or so to that base. So we've raised like $25 million. In the meantime, we redesigned the building. People might remember that we had a bigger building. It was actually ghastly expensive. And instead of going ahead and trying to raise that money, we took a step back. We changed architects, quite controversial, of course, on Island, and got a lot of notoriety.
Everything you do
set us back. It's true, but it was like we did it and built a better building. It's very efficient. It's incredibly functional, and there's not a wasted space on the entire block. And anyone who's been in the Dreamland in its original configuration won't really recognize the new Dreamland Theater, other than it's the same exact seats as we had before, 354 seats or so downstairs. But the whole entry sequence is going to be really friendly and open and much better.
The building feels very good, and we invite people to come for tours. We've got hard hats in the office, and we take people through every day. And it will be a LEED Silver certified building, which is it's a great achievement. We'll have bike racks in the back and all of that sort of great stuff. But it feels really good when people walk through. They say, "Oh, I get it. This is fantastic."
Spaces feel good.
The building is 12 feet higher than it was before. We had to get over the water table,
is that right?
absolutely, and allow it to drop. Our seats drop for the stadium seating. And our second floor.
They were dropping into the water table before we had to raise the building.
Those would be the waterfront seats.
The studio
snorkel and scuba gear.
So the studio theater upstairs has these views out of the front of the building over the sort of treetops and the skyline of Nantucket that nobody's ever seen before. Every cupola, every steeple can be seen out of those windows. It's absolutely a beautiful space. People are really just awestruck by it, not to mention the view out this way.
Unbelievable.
And the space isn't going to feel like a multiplex on the mainland. We've really kind of we've toned it down, the finishes, and we're using a lot of barn board type material, a lot of reused material that was in the original building. We've remilled it.
Palette.
Yeah,
right.
Palette.
This isn't Movico or something. Was that
right? Movico. That's right. That's exactly right.
So there's no velvet on the walls, or
we
no.
ditched all the purple and the bright red and gold.
Wendy wanted the velvet and the purple and the gold, but it was hard to talk her down, but we did. It looks.
Wendy's such a velvet person.
Exactly. It's going to feel like Nantucket when you walk in, but it's going to be 21st century technology.
Behind the wall.
And comfort.
Right. The comfort's a big thing. You know, Bill, as a dad here of young, our kids are all older, but
Not that old.
Well, my kids
Okay,
are older
keep
than
going,
yours.
keep going.
You know, how do you feel? I mean, don't you think? For me, I mean, I raised my kids and it was open when my kids were little. How are you excited about it for your kids to have that experience of theater and art coming to Nantucket? We've missed that.
Yeah,
downtown.
absolutely, absolutely. I was walking home last night from dinner and I saw this space that was sort of looming up in the fog, and I thought, wow, when it comes back online, it's going to be really exciting. And the idea of taking my children to go to the movies at night and have the kind of experiences that I had when I was growing up. I saw Jaws here when it was released. When was that? Like 1990, 1990ish,
yeah. And you were 7.
And my dad took me to International Velvet. I remember that. I really look forward to the opportunity of bringing my family here and seeing my friends here with their families and just a cultural center in the middle of town. That's what I really am excited about for all people.
I have 3 teenagers, so for me,
they like going to movies too, I bet.
No, well, I mean, you've got to get them off the street and off of the strip and into some place they can have a date without having to go to the beach and getting into all kinds of things
Melissa
they shouldn't
pointed
be getting
out,
into.
Barry, the makeout seats. She told me, she goes, you see, there's makeout, so that's where all the teenagers, when we were coming, Melissa knew it.
It's a revenue opportunity.
These are the makeout seats. I said, that is good to know.
We're going to charge more.
We're selling the, yeah, exactly. Those seats cost more, by the way.
Those are $15
They're extra
a
plush.
seat. Well, stay tuned because we're going to be back with more here on a special edition of Plum Daily, where we're celebrating the birth of the Dreamland Theater.
Oh, I like that.
Hi, I'm Barbara Harris. Welcome to Water Jewels. We're at 14 Center Street on Nantucket. I'm a 4th generation jeweler, so I grew up in this business. And I'm a lapidarist, so everything is handmade in my studio in London. We have stringers and carvers and goldsmiths. It goes through a lot of hands and we all put a lot of effort and work into them, and I think it shows in every piece. You can find the unusual here and some truly, truly beautiful things.
In the heart of downtown, Zumba, yoga, Pilates, dance, .48 Main Street, where the body meets soul.
I remember the first film I went to at the Dreamland. I was 4 years old. My mother cuddled us into the chairs and we saw The King and I. The beauty of the Dreamland is that it won't be exclusive, that it is something that everybody will have access to and everybody can use. This is an incredible opportunity for all of us. My name is Ann Bissinger, and I have given and intend to keep giving to the Dreamland.
Saint-Tropez, Martinique, the Mediterranean. Nantucket painter Louis Guanaccia will capture the magic of your yacht in any port across the globe. This award-winning maritime artist will create a portrait of your ship in her most beautiful environs. A 4x6-foot oil painting is the quintessential addition to your boardroom, office, stateroom or home. Celebrate your luxurious lifestyle by commissioning a portrait of your super yacht. Contact Louis Guanaccia for a private consultation today or visit louisguanaccia.com.
Welcome back, and if you don't realize that we're not at the rope walk, we are at the top of the Dreamland Theater. It's really exciting to be here, Barry. It feels like it's close.
It
feels close.
We hope to open around Christmas.
Wow.
So that would be just awesome. We haven't figured out exactly the date, but that's what we're working towards.
Well,
wouldn't that be amazing?
It would be
that
really
would be so exciting.
It was so exciting. Especially we'll need it going into January, February, March to have the Dreamland open. That would could make a winter.
Could make a winter. If I was on island, it would make my winter.
Yeah, it would make my winter for sure.
And be on island.
It would be wonderful. It's a beautiful time of year, but sometimes there's a lack of things to do, especially not only for youth but for families. And what do you do in February? There's not a lot of choices, so the idea of having a Dreamland.
It's just fantastic. I've always wondered how the youth of the island had to have to go to Hyannis to see a blockbuster film in the winter.
It's true.
Or watch it on their computer if they could get it legally.
Yeah, we don't want everything to be done legally. Well, next up we're going to find out more about the programming and really the goals and the dreams of what's going to happen inside of this building. It's not just a building, it's really going to be a cultural center for us.
I think it's been a great thing that even during the construction period, Patty, Wendy, the team, Melissa we've spent a lot of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars to run programming during the summer. So we'll talk about that and how it rolls into what we're going to do going forward.
Sounds exciting. So stay tuned because we're going to be back with lots here more in a special edition of Plum Daily where we're celebrating the Dreamland. Welcome back to a special edition of Plum Daily, and I'm back with Wendy Schmidt and Barry Sternlick, two of the spearheaders that really got this project off.
Throwers.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. But helped to get this, to save the Dreamland, which I think was really a gift to our community. I mean, we haven't realized it yet because we're not quite there, but I know we're going to get there. And the proof that we're going to get there is that Wendy, you're going to take us on a tour. We were down with our cameras.
Yeah.
Let's see what's happening inside the Dreamland.
Okay, put on your hard hats, okay? And you can really do this in real life, too. But let's walk through those front doors that everybody remembers, and we'll go into the vestibule and come into the lobby. And the ticket window that used to be on the street, still there. There's a ticket window inside, too. There's also modern kiosks for future ticket sales, where people can buy advance tickets.
So is that going to be like
right
machine?
In the lobby?
Or,
yep,
okay,
yep, automated.
Awesome.
And the concession stand will be there on the left.
Barry promises the best popcorn.
Best popcorn.
Just to go back, I mean, the front entryway is the same as the old entryway, and we kept it that way.
You can get that sense,
we thought about putting a window so you could sell concessions on the street, but we decided not to litter Nantucket with popcorn kernels, so they'll have to come inside. They can go outside with the kernel, but it'll make it a little harder to litter all of Nantucket. So back to the lobby.
All right, you got your concessions, you got your popcorn, your candy, your drinks. You walk forward up a slight incline into what we're calling an arcade, where we'll have posters and other information going on.
As well as recognition of some donors.
Recognition of donors.
Wonderful.
And you come into another sort of second lobby area that's 2 stories tall, where there's a gallery upstairs where you can see exhibits and things like that. There's a staircase that can take you up there. There's also our elevator bank on that side.
Oh,
and you pass, by the way, on the way there, the bathrooms.
Okay.
Public bathrooms. Then we walk into the main theater, which is a real aha moment, because you come in and it's a beautiful space, as we said, 300 and, what was it number? 26 seats. Wonderful proscenium stage.
Wow, great.
A stage that can be used for movies, it's a sprung wooden floor, so dancing and music performances, all kinds of things can happen in this wonderful space where there's no bad seat. Go upstairs and you're on the mezzanine level where the projection room is.
Okay.
So you don't really spend time there unless you're in that gallery space. The 3rd floor is where you come to the front of the building, the old Quaker Meeting House with its fabulous old trusses and the beautiful views out. 175 people can be in there for,
seats.
For dances, parties, performances. We're talking to a music school in Philadelphia now about doing a music festival here next summer. Perfect space for that. Wonderful acoustics.
Or they can watch another movie.
Or it can be a second movie.
Children's movie upstairs and an adult movie downstairs, or vice versa.
How cool would that be?
Yeah.
You know?
And the rest of this floor that we're on now is administrative offices for our staff, more bathrooms, a film editing space.
Which we cannot mention in front of my crew. I told you about
I know that.
one.
I just have to say, we want to have.
I have a feeling they're going to be talking to you guys after the show. So how do you get into that room? Yeah.
We want an artist in residence program to be in there, and we're looking for a sponsor for that, so we can have real filmmakers here editing movies on Nantucket. It would be just fantastic. And then in the back here, the harbor view room, a beautiful space again with a cupola, sweeping views of the harbor. It can seat, I think it's, get this right.
50 people probably here, I would think.
I think on all of this about 150 people,
including the outside terrace,
including the terrace, and you could rent the entire floor for an event, or a gathering. No weddings, no weddings. Not doing weddings because other people do weddings. Oh. We want to think about what
project would love this building.
But we're going to do things around the arts and things that other people are not doing, so they can do weddings. We want people who do weddings to do weddings.
Well, I think it's really exciting to see it this far. And right now we're going to see what the Dreamland looked like prior to this rebuild. Michael May takes us on a tour and talks about the history of this beautiful building. So let's take a look.
We're in the Dreamland Theater on Water Street, and this building actually was built in 1831, 1832 as the Hicksite Meeting House, and it once stood at 7476 Main Street and was moved in the 1880s to Brant Point to become part of the Nantucket Hotel. The third floor actually has some interesting features that tell us a little bit about when it was a hotel, such as the dormers that were popped out of the original roof here for the meeting house. We know that the structural elements have changed somewhat. These braces would come over to the wall. You can see the hole in the wall where the brace would have come, and they were changed so they could use this space for rooms, probably for staff associated with the hotel. We're not positive exactly how they used it, but most likely this was broken into rooms of some type. And then it was moved in 1906 across the water, the harbor, to this site and became part of the Order of Redmen's Lodge, and really then a theater and remodeled in 1922. The building actually has a fascinating preservation story too, because it has evolved so much over the years. It's a challenge on what to preserve and what to discard. And there are some structural issues with the building, but the project team is actually doing a wonderful job documenting the early features, those from the meeting house and also the features from the hotel and the Dreamland Theater itself. So they found a lot of interesting information and material, including wallpaper, early tin work that is associated with the theater in the 1920s. And then also there are some wonderful structural elements from the meeting house that remain. The Dreamland Theater is really important because it really is a true preservation story in the 20th century. It also has a real importance in the community. There's a real sense of place here. This is where people came to movies, dances. A lot of people have wonderful fond memories of the Dreamland Theater from the early 20th centuries, and our parents and our grandparents do too. So I think in that sense it's a wonderful preservation project. It's really important to the community, and it really is evocative of the cultural history of Nantucket that really ties us to the past.
Welcome back to a special edition of Plum Daily, where we're celebrating the birth of the new Dreamland, and I am joined by Angela Rayner, Patty Roggeveen, and Melissa Murphy. It's nice, the inside, the year-round team, right? They're here in the trenches, 12 months a year. Angela, I'd love to start with you because I think it's really interesting that a busy person, 3 restaurants on Nantucket, decides to take on another project. Knowing you, I am not surprised, but I really wanted to find out why your passion and why you think it's so important, the Dreamland Theater.
Well, it really comes down to the fact, there were probably 6 different reasons for me, but first and foremost were my children. And my children grew up having their birthday parties in this building, and they would come and watch movies. And it was this extraordinary chance for them to figure out who they wanted to be, where they wanted to go, and to dream. And that's what movies always were for me growing up in a small town, and it was a great, healthy outlet. And when the Dreamland left, it left a big void for that segment. And owning restaurants in town, there are a lot of people that would bring their children into town, their kids could go to a movie, parents come in for dinner, parents walk around to shops. It's just, it changed the whole dynamic having a void. And you know, Starlight's been a wonderful piece of our community and they do a fantastic job. However, when you look at the sheer numbers of what we have here and the demand for the seats, I mean, the stories I heard about Harry Potter were kind of crazy.
Oh, I can only imagine. I was glad my kids were not living on island any longer.
As was I, definitely. But as a business owner and a community member, it really has been such a void to not have the Dreamland's energy. And what has happened here is so beyond just a movie theater. It was this forward-thinking group that came together and said, let's just not replace a one-screen theater. Let's build something that will be for the next generation. This is a legacy project. This really is this incredible opportunity for Nantucket, and I speak always about, for me there's no summer, there's no year-round, there's no seasonal, it's Nantucket. You know, you got to drop all of the labels. The labels make it more difficult. When you look at the possibilities of Nantucket as a community, this building is unreal. The possibilities we're still discovering every time we speak to another director of development for a non-for-profit, another community member. I look at my mother, who's a retired widow living here. My mother could talk to you about all of the things that she thinks the Dreamland will be to her segment of the population, which is a very underserviced segment of our year-round community.
Exactly.
And our summer community. Again, it's Nantucket. So if you've got a group of retirees who are here that would love to go to films, we have a studio theater on the second floor that has, 100-some seats where we can show a lot of older film series, we can have independent films, we can do documentaries, we can have small performances, we can have music festivals. The possibilities are endless. And we're only limited by the things we can come up with. And that's what's really exciting to me.
So, and to have a home here for it, right in the center of town.
And beyond Film Festival, because Film Festival is just a natural. That one you don't even have to think about very long.
It makes total sense.
It's where Film Festival always was anchored. And I have to say, as a business member, having Film Festival not be anchored in town, it does have a huge impact on the way people move around, the revenue stream that goes into the merchants that are in the core, guest houses that are booking. When we really look at the festivals and the different projects that are coming up that are incredibly exciting, people will start to consider Nantucket as being viable because there are space issues for Nantucket. For a lot of people that look at Nantucket as an option for whether it's a corporate retreat, destination weddings, etc. There are a lot of things that will open up as possibilities.
Wonderful.
So it's,
yeah,
it's very
wonderful
exciting.
to have, and to have it all in this heart of downtown. Patty, Executive Director of the Dreamland Foundation. What are the biggest challenges right now, do you think, for you? Is it really getting that final cash in to really close it down and to get this open? Would that be the top challenge?
Well, I think we're doing a couple things at the same time, and it's really important for us because it helps our energy, both for the fundraising, but also for what we're doing in a very few short months. We are also looking very seriously at what program, as Angela said. We're going to open our doors next year. We don't want to just be any old place. We really want to have a tremendous first season, and we're looking to sort of mold that now because obviously we have to. So at the same time that we're raising money, it's actually a good combination. We're talking to people about what we can do with the space and what we have plans for, and the phone is ringing about people who want to use the space, right, Melissa? and we're happy to accommodate them. It's just an exciting time. I think that as far as challenge is concerned, it's just keeping up with it. I mean, we have a great team at the office. Donald, who's not here today, is busy because we're about to open Alice in Wonderland out at the new school in a tent, and we can't get enough seats. We can't get enough seats, and we're way out of town. So our sort of challenge right now is just keeping up with both the pace of the board, who has had this vision.
That board was for you. I mean, I want to tell you, buckle your seatbelt hanging out with that board.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
They're real forward thinkers. Yep.
And at the same time, making sure that people understand what we're about, what we have to offer, and what this is going to mean for the full year-round community. So I don't know. It's not a bad challenge there, Kate.
Yeah, I've got some fun stuff going on. Melissa, you are definitely someone I talk to all the time when I call the Dreamland, and very involved with what's going on in terms of the programming now. So and the mother of small children, right? That aren't so small, but they're getting bigger. But talk about the summer programming and how you think that'll kind of feed into the programming that happens once the building is complete.
I do want to say I'm a little bit peripheral to the programming. I'm really on the front lines of our donors and working with Patty and as her right hand in terms of making sure that anyone who's considering a gift to the Dreamland has the information that they need to have. From a programming perspective, I've got 2 kids, they're 11 and 9, and they keep going, oh, is there a movie at the Dreamland yet?
Right.
They're excited. They don't remember a time when there was a Dreamland. So it's not in their memory yet, and I can't wait to share that with them because I had my first date at the Dreamland.
That's why you know where the makeout seats are.
Hey, you spoiled my secret.
You know what? I'm going to cut you off just for a minute because we're going to go to a break and we're going to come back and talk more about what we can expect from the insides of the Dreamland Theater. So stay tuned.
Thank you.
My family's business has designed, installed, and maintained some of the most amazing landscapes on Nantucket. At Nicholas Ferrantino Landscaping, we are known for our hardscapes, patios, waterfalls, and water features. We install and maintain eco-friendly irrigation systems as well as hydro-seeded lawns and meadows. In these tough economic times, it is more important than ever to depend on an established company with skilled, honest, and friendly professionals. Our family and crews take pride in all projects, big and small. Let us work with you to create your special place on Nantucket with people you can trust at prices you can afford.
For all of us at Great Point Properties, Nantucket is our home, and we're passionate about sharing with our clients all that the island has to offer.
One of our core strengths is customer service. Whether you're renting a home from us or you are buying a house or selling a house, we strive to make sure that your experience is as good as it possibly can be.
If you're on island, stop by to see us at 1 North Beach Street, or you can find us at greatpointproperties.com, on Facebook, or through Christie's International Real Estate.
When I'm working and when I really get into the zone, so to speak, I lose myself. I allow my mind to rest and I just go with whatever I feel. I think that's probably linked to how ancient people worked.
Yeah, we grew up with the Dreamland. It was the place in town. Saw a lot of great surf movies there. You know, the face of the island has changed so much since I grew up, and every time you lose something, it's a loss for the whole island. It's pretty important that we get the Dreamland back. It's a good gathering spot for a small island. Boys, this place needs it. I'm Rick Kodalak, and we're certainly chipping in to make this Dreamland happen. Glad to.
Welcome back to a special Plum Daily. We're celebrating the Dreamland, and I am joined again by Angela Rayner, Patty Roggeveen, and Melissa Murphy. Melissa, so we were talking about you being in kind of like Patty's right-hand person and the donorship and naming opportunities, because I think that's important because that is not something that will always be available, you were saying.
That's right. So we've got our capital campaign goal, and anyone who's interested in becoming a part and contributing to that, there's a couple of big messages that it's important that we share with you. The first is that we are a 501c3 nonprofit. I know that Barry and Wendy mentioned that earlier, so that means we require a broad range of public support to prove to the IRS. So gifts, small gifts, large gifts, they're all very important to us. We just need people to give their gifts and contribute to us and join our team.
Well, I do think, because I think Angela and I have talked about this, and I know I've talked to the board members before, there's kind of like this thing, well, you know, you have a group of affluent board members. Absolutely. Why not just finish it off? But you cannot do that in order to maintain your not-for-profit.
And I think that's essential. Is I've had I can't even tell you how many people have come to me and said, oh, well, I don't really need to do that. I have my other things. Well, you know what? This is everything for everyone, and
Right.
it's really essential. And what we did very strategically is we have opportunities for people to participate from someone who wants to give us what they would spend on a night out at the movies. We're thrilled.
Okay.
You're important. Every single person and every gift is essential and vital right now, and the clock is ticking. We've really taken a commitment by our whole group that we are strategically, we want to capture this summer before
Right.
everybody starts to depart. People who live here, while everybody is in their cash flow zone. I'm a seasonal business owner.
You
I
know
get
it,
it.
right.
We have business booster program, we have community boosters, we have a Take Your Seat campaign, which is $5,000 a seat. That's a legacy for your family. You can name it. You can put all your grandchildren's name on the seat. You can put your children. You can put your dog. We don't really care. Whatever you like, we can do it, and that's
You can
available.
put out makeout section on that seat.
Exactly. We know where Melissa's seat will be.
Right. Yeah.
But on a serious note, we have these other opportunities which will close. So there are room naming. For example, this deck that we're sitting on that's spectacular. You can name this deck, and those are tiered. So it gives families and foundations and businesses and owners of corporations a chance to participate. People who have foundations, this is a great opportunity. We have the annual appeal. We'll take you through. You can come in before anyone else,
Right.
and you get to tell everyone, I saw the Dreamland, I got on board, I was a part of something that was vital and important to Nantucket's future.
Right.
And I'm not running for office.
I'm with you. I know. This is good. You should run for office, Angie.
No.
Patty, so here we are. We've worked on this for a while, and now we're getting close. I mean, this is pretty.
This
I
is
also think we
real.
should celebrate a little bit of what's happened.
Yes.
You know, because this is pretty fantastic. And in a town like Nantucket, where I know there's restrictions and HDC, and that we're sitting here on top of this is a lot of people's hard work and vision. But now we need to close it. So Patty, talk to us about, even though we talked about naming ideas, what is the absolute goal right now that we need in order to say,
Well, we're looking at $32 million with endowment, and we have raised 26.5 to date. And what's really special about that, and I'm going to re-emphasize what was said, it's across the board. Yes, we have great anchor gifts. We paid $10 million for this parcel of land way back when the market was actually functional, and that's part of what we're looking at as far as our overall goal. But we have great small gifts too, and gifts from people that write notes that say, I just can't wait till this comes back for my kids, to business owners who say, it's fantastic for me because this is going to bring people to town. It's an emotional commitment. It really is. And we've seen it. We have the benefit of seeing what people say to us when they do give. And while you may not balance the same in terms of dollar amounts, we do know that the heart and soul of people that do give to us, whatever the amount is there. And again, it's been a really interesting course of time. And being with the project since about a month after they bought it, watching the progress, watching the energy, we can feel it right now. There's a lot of people ready, and we've got the naming opportunities to jump on board, and we're just saying, close the deal with us.
One of the most wonderful things that's happened is this year we published our first annual report. Anyone is welcome to come down to our office and pick one up, or phone us, we'll mail one to you. But the best compliment we get from the annual report is saying, oh my gosh, I didn't realize so many people had contributed. And you see behind us here, that's in very small font, a list of hundreds of names of people who have given us their support. And I think it's a wonderful testament. I'm confident, as is everybody, that we will close this gap. And the outsides of these rooms will be full of wonderful names.
and I do want to add, because Donald's not here, and everyone knows Donald.
Absolutely.
If they don't know Donald, they know Captain Hook. But he's out there right now, and he's got a tent full of kids. They're about to put on a performance for over 200 people. All right, out at the new school. That energy belongs right here.
Right here in downtown.
And that's what the Dreamland's bringing back. We're bringing back film. We're bringing back art house film. We're going to bring new things and technology, but we're bringing energy, kids, the elderly, and that's the positives.
Wonderful, wonderful. Very exciting. Well, stay tuned. Thanks, guys, for being on. It's really exciting to have.
Thank you to Plum, because you guys have been amazing with supporting us and letting us get our message out, because it really does take the entire community to get the word out. And the more that people let people know that we need it. Just because the building's here doesn't mean we're done.
We're not done
Right,
yet.
that's right.
Yes, we need to get the door open.
We're here to remind you
But
of
people
that.
can take tours anytime.
Okay, cool.
Call the office.
Come down. You can see this view firsthand for yourself. It's fabulous.
Bring your lunch.
Thanks, ladies. It's wonderful to have you here. Well, we're going to be back to close up the special edition of their celebration of getting close to the end of the Dreamland so we can open those doors. So definitely make a donation. We'll be back with more.
Thank you.
Riding Nantucket's bus has never been easier. Download our new free app for your smartphone and find out exactly when your bus is arriving to pick you up. Just go to live.nrtawave.com. It's time to ride the wave.
RJ Miller, it's all about the client. Relax, refresh, renew.
At the old Dreamland, I met two of my closest friends in line for Star Wars. The new Dreamland, it's going to be much more than that, and it's going to be a place to come together. This is not going to close down in the fall. It's going to be open all year long. I think there's a great opportunity to shape what our future as a community is going to be like. My name's John Johnson. I'm a surfer and a dad, and I'm giving to support the Dreamland.
Well, welcome back. And Barry, this has been a great show. It's so much fun to be back on the deck of the Dreamland.
I hope next time we do this, we'll be showing you it complete. And it'll be amazing to cover the opening and the opening party. It'd be great.
Great. Well, we're looking forward to that. Well, Barry, thank you for all you've done for the Dreamland and
Thanks
this
the whole board
incredible
and
board.
All the donors, please.
I'm telling you, and the donors. I mean, we're so close. So really, anything makes a difference, right? If it gets us closer and closer and closer.
Yep. And if we don't have to carry debt, we'd be really grateful. So,
yeah,
please,
it's not good to carry debt.
Please give us your support, and when we're open, buy tickets for a lot of money.
Right. So come and celebrate. Come and check out, because I think if you've just seen the building, you should come and take a tour, because it's really, you can see that we are on the brink of having a cultural center here in downtown Nantucket. So
it's just amazing. Come see this theater.
Thank you, Barry. Thanks everybody for showing up today and to celebrate the Dreamland, Wendy and everybody. It was a great show. So thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with more here on Plum Daily.